Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Debra Eckerling. I'm the author of Your Goal Guide, a roadmap for setting, planning, and achieving your goals, and founder of the DEB Method, which is my system for goal setting simplified. I'm so excited about today's show. My May theme is reconnecting because as we emerge from the cocoon that we've been in the last 14 plus months, we need to take stock of where we're at physically, emotionally, reconnect with people. So the theme is reconnecting. And today we're talking with Rhino Julie about reconnecting with our health. Because if you don't have the health, then what more can you do? Okay, I'll answer that. Nothing. So, Rhino Julie and I met through a podcasting group, and I was on her show a couple months ago, and now here we are talking on my playing field. So, Rhino Julie, first of all, explain why people call you Rhino Julie, and then introduce yourself.
Well, I am so excited to be on the show. Thank you so much for inviting me. Just super stoked to be here. So, first of all, they call me Rhino Julie because my gyms are called Camp Rhino. And I just started being called Rhino Julie years and years ago. And now it's like on my license plate. And I am Rhino Julie. And there are other Julie Johnstons, but there are no other Rhino Julies. So I don't often get mistaken for anybody else, and I absolutely love it.
Well, it works. Rhino. We have Rhino Julie and Deb of the Deb Method, so we're both named. Well, actually, I was named not by me, but that's okay because aren't I fortunate that my mom basically named me twice. So there you go. And so you own gyms, but you're like a fitness guru person, right?
Well, I tell you what, the reason I'm the fitness guru person is because I don't like working out and I love eating. Eating is life to me. Gluttony was the one sin that was overlooked growing up. And so, because of that, I gained a lot of weight when I had my first business. And 4 years into it, I gained so much weight. And I was like, I need to figure out how to lose weight, but still eat the foods I love. And I need to make exercising like fun and fit into my life instead of something I dread. And so that's when I started my gyms 17 years ago now. Yes. But that's why I'm so passionate about it, is because I have that history of struggling with it and struggling with weight loss. It makes you good at stuff when you have those same pain points as your members.
Interesting. So you basically built a business to help you and then you help others.
Yes, that's it. And 17 years ago, there wasn't, like, back then there was aerobics like that your mom did, and then there was kung fu and kickboxing where you actually had to hit each other, and then there was like Arnold pumping iron at the gym. There wasn't really like camaraderie, team driven workouts, which is what we do at the gym. And then even now, I do not feel like there are that many sustainable nutrition programs. And by sustainable, I mean something that I would want to do for the rest of my life, something that still allows me to go out to eat. And, in New York, when I want to try like these sandwiches that are just, I mean, I want to go eat the sandwiches that I've heard about, or the pizza that I've heard about. I don't want to have this life of suffering and misery just to chase an aesthetic. And so both of those issues helped me form my online business and then my in-person business. Yeah.
So it's basically you have to eat well-ish. You have to work out, you have to drink lots of water, and you have to have fun. Did I miss anything?
Vegetables. Did I mention that I don't like vegetables? but yes, and the biggest part is finding a way to do those things that fit into our lives, that don't take away time from our business and from our family, and that don't make us like go crazy.
Well, sure, because if you're cranky when you're working out, you don't want to work out, so you won't work out, and then it's a spiral.
Yes, exactly. And nothing makes me crankier than not having enough carbs. Like, let's just put that out there. Like, so many, so many people out there, they're like, oh, I need to lose weight. And so they start just starving themselves and they're not eating enough food. And they're following like the magazines that like say, oh, eat a half a chicken breast and a slice of tomato. I used to read things like that, and I would be like, if I could do that, I wouldn't have this problem. And then we'll follow it for such a short amount of time. And then we end up, and I'm speaking for myself, and then we end up like binging because we're hungry, because our body's like, let me do the calculations. At this rate, we're not going to survive. And so let's make Julie crave something so bad that she has to go and get it and just eat it all. And it usually ends up being things that aren't good for us. Yeah.
So when you deprive yourself of like normal food, then you want to go eat like the bag of potato chips. And other than not having potato chips in your house, then how do you avoid eating the potato chips?
So I always love the advice of just having the stuff in your house that supports your dreams. I always start with everyone's purpose, right? So when I work with my online entrepreneur group, I always say, okay, what's your business purpose? And then what's your personal, like, why? And then we tie that back into, okay, what can you eat that will support that purpose? And we never talk about restriction, because when we restrict, we just want it that much more. So we make a list of all the things that will help us like support that purpose, and we add those things into our life. And then sometimes when I'm working with clients, and it always boils down to like, what is the problem that my client is facing? And a lot of times they do say, my spouse, it's like the spouse, or it's like, oh, for my kids, I have Pop Tarts in the house for my kids, or I have ice cream in the house for my kids. And what in the world do I do, like when there's these things are in my house and I can't escape that? And I always tell them that like one pretty cool rule is I can have anything I want, but I just have to go get it. Or if it's special, eat it. That's my favorite. Because like if your mom makes the most amazing apple pie ever, when your mom makes apple pie, eat it. But is ice cream in the freezer, is that special? So it's very situational. It's very unique to each person. But those are a couple of the tips that I like. I've replaced all of the things that so I could make a list right now that would just make you drool of things that I love so much I can hardly stand it. But what I do is in my house I keep dark chocolate, because like as far as fun foods go, dark chocolate never makes me feel that bad. And I especially love the dark chocolate covered cashews. And I portion it out for the serving size, and I have that planned like every night. I know I'm going to have my dark chocolate covered cashews, and it's my little treat, and I plan it in advance. But it's when we have all of these things in our fridge and all of these things in our pantry that they're just there and they're not that special and they're not planned, that's when the monsters come out and we end up going wild.
I like the plan treats in advance philosophy. That works for me because I love treats. And end of the sentence. I love treats. But I also love looking good and feeling good, because if you don't feel good, I think, let's see if we can follow this train of thought. Uh, we want to look good because when we look good, we feel better about ourselves, and we want to feel good, and then we're more productive. So it's not a vicious cycle. It's just a cycle. If you eat well, if you work out, if you do all the things that feel like they're bad for you, that they're actually good for you, then you have more energy, and then you could better pursue your goals.
Yes, exactly. No, you hit the nail on the head. That was beautifully spoken. But then it's really like, so sometimes we can get that down, right? And we have our little lives and we figured out how to live our little lives. And then something like a pandemic happens, or there's like a big, maybe a tragedy in the family, or there's a job change or a career change, or we have a child. Like these things come out of left field and they just take us out of our perfectly little planned lives. And that's what happens to a lot of people, then myself included. Then we pack on the pounds, and then it's harder to lose the weight each time we gain it. And so the answer, the answer is truly to keep adding to our lives and figuring out a lifestyle that we truly love, like a lifestyle that we would live even if we were on vacation. We would still live this lifestyle. And also just never like ceasing to learn about our bodies and about how we respond to things, because you said it really well. want to feel good so that we can live out our purpose, so that we can reach our goals. We need to have energy. I do a 5-day energy booster challenge so we can have the most energy possible to run our businesses. And then weight loss is like a beautiful side effect of that, right? But you hit it on the head. But where most of us go wrong is we are able to do these lifestyles that aren't our favorite, but we're able to do it for 6 months, for a year, and we're able to like reach our goals. But then the first time life hits us and it knocks us off the wagon, so to speak, that's when, like, each time that happens, it's just harder to come back, which is why we have to find that lifestyle. And I don't sell supplements to my clients. I don't do any meal replacements. It's all information and learning. And what do you like? And how do you like to work out? Let's find a workout that you like to do. Let's find one that fits. Maybe you work out with your kids. Maybe your workout happens at the park when they're playing, right? We figure out how to make the lifestyle work for the client, and that's really the key. It's not that sexy, but it's the key. It's the truth.
I love this. And so we mentioned before you interviewed me. Now we're turning the tables and I'm interviewing you. And you know I'm all about the goal paths. And one of them is work-life balance, which I think is something not enough people do. Because if they did, then and no, we're not being super judgy. Okay, I talk about the goal paths, and it's all about having the life you want. And you're talking about having the life you want and integrating the health component as well. So we're basically just sitting here agreeing with each other. What do you think is people's biggest struggle with even setting health goals?
Oh, I know exactly what it is. It is not celebrating the steps along the journey. It's saying, I will be happy if, I will be happy when. And usually it's when I lose 20 pounds. I love weight loss. I'm obsessed with it. It's my jam. I usually don't lead with weight loss. I lead with energy boosting. Yay, right? Because I don't ever want to shame anybody. But when someone wants to lose weight, they say, I want to lose 60 pounds. I will be happy when I lose 60 pounds. And then every step along the journey is just torture instead of something that could be celebrated. And so, what I always encourage people to do is to say, okay, I am going to start eating vegetables every single day. And when I eat vegetables every single day, I am going to celebrate that I ate the vegetables. I'm going to celebrate the inputs instead of just chasing the result. And when the inputs are celebrated, with celebration, then comes motivation. And when people are motivated, then they can continue and then the results happen. But without celebration, there is no motivation. And people are always saying, I need more motivation. Really, we just need more celebration for the small wins and the inputs that we have every day.
Well, I am all about, the gold stars and celebrating everything. So I love that. But and rather than, I get the logic, you want to celebrate the input, not the result, but don't you want to have the result in mind to work toward?
Yes, but I always like to help our clients have the goal be their purpose or their why. So when we make weight loss our goal, it's weight loss is just it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing to like shame ourselves and judge ourselves for weight that we put on and to make that our goal because I'm just speaking for myself. The first time I tried to lose weight, I felt like it was impossible. I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like I would never be able to eat healthy because I'm addicted to food. I'm a food addict. I just felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like I didn't have the willpower. And so it was so just heartbreaking to constantly be trying to lose weight and tell all my friends I'm trying to lose weight and tell my significant other I'm trying to lose weight and then just not losing weight over and over and over when in reality the secret to happiness is being happy wherever we are, however we are, and then saying, okay, my purpose in life is to build this business. Like my purpose and my business purpose is to help like entrepreneurs, online have as much energy as possible so they can go have the biggest impact. And with energy comes weight loss as a side effect and confidence and all of that stuff comes. And then my personal purpose is to be healthy for my family, like to spend as much time with my family as I possibly can while I'm on this earth and just to give as much love as possible. And the way I do that is by eating my vegetables, drinking my water, getting my workouts in, right? And that's how I make my business goals happen too. And so, yes, like weight loss as a goal, like it's worked for some people, but most people it just mentally devastates them and makes them just sit on the couch eating Doritos and watching TV.
Okay, so we'll go back to the D and the Deb method is determine your mission. So if your mission is to have a healthier lifestyle, then the goals within there are the lifestyle changes. So it's the eating better, it's the working out regularly, it's the drinking a lot of water, and I think self-care. I think we have to throw that in there as well, don't we?
Yes, that's one of my four major energy boosters is it's really like the meditation, the time for silence, like just really taking care of ourselves. And self-care encompasses exercise and what we put into our bodies as well. But 100% time alone, time just giving our brain space, so important.
If we were to rank the order of importance between eating well, working out, and self-care, what do you think?
And so define self-care for me. Are you talking like just tell me what your because self-care really does encompass all of it.
Well, yes, self-care encompasses all of it, but I'm let's look at self-care in terms of me time. So taking
Okay.
the time that you need to unwind and refresh and re-energize. And then we have working out and eating. And I know drinking water's in there too. I was just picking like the big three things that we think of when we think of health goals.
So I love this and I love this conversation and I love this question. And this is a argument and a discussion that I have with myself all the time. With each client, it's different, but I am going to say, drum roll please, I'm going to say sleep. So if we are exercising and we're not getting enough sleep, if we are eating healthy but we're not getting enough sleep, if we're taking time for self-care but we're not getting enough sleep, sleep is where the magic happens. It's where our body rewards us for all of the amazing things that we've done to support it. And it's also where our body tries to recover from some of the hard things that we've done to it. But after sleep, exercise really connects everything. Like when we exercise, it makes us want to hydrate. When we exercise, we kind of start wanting to eat healthier. And exercise is definitely usually time alone or time away from the world. So that's kind of my 2-for-1 answer. Amazing question.
So you basically said D.
All the above.
You have three, yes, you have three choices. You pick the fourth, but we'll call sleep as self-care. So we have the
Okay.
self-care. Taking care of yourself means getting a good night's sleep. When you get a good night's sleep, you have more energy, you exercise, and then you want to give yourself good nutrients and water.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
I always go to food first.
Yeah, it's really very situational. If someone is not sleeping, so when we don't get enough sleep, we end up being more likely to binge. So we can try to eat healthy all we want, but if we're not getting enough sleep, then the willpower, like our willpower recharges when we sleep. So it's easier to make those healthy, nutritious decisions when we sleep. But yeah, an argument can be made for any of those, especially depending on the person.
Well, it goes back to know thyself, right? If you know what motivates you,
Yeah.
and let's say you love exercise and that's your priority, then you will eat healthy from exercising a lot and you'll sleep better. So they really, it's a cycle.
I actually
I
have a new different answer.
Oh, go for it.
So my new answer is the one that you will do. It's whatever that first step is that you will do. You've heard the people that say, "Oh, I quit drinking soda and all of a sudden I dropped 100 pounds." Well, that was the first step. That was the first thing they did. And then that just had that ripple effect where they were able to make those other healthy choices little by little. Yeah, but it's adherence, sustainability and adherence, that's really the bottom line.
It's so amazing that you said soda because that was always my Achilles heel because I loved it. And the worst was when I worked for a tech company and they had the fully stocked refrigerator, back when we left the house to work. But this was like 2012-ish. Yes. But the fully stocked refrigerator, complete with soda, people would bring treats all the time. I would always think it was much less healthy to work out of the house than in the house because all the goodies are like, if they weren't in your office, you could just go to the store down in the lobby or down the street or whatever, right?
Is this terrible to say, but maybe like with your employees, it's kind of like with your children. Like it's just easier to give them what they want instead of saying, "Hey, everybody, you need to eat vegetables and water and be even more miserable at work than you already are." Even though knowing long term they would be happier at work, it's like it's just easier to give them what they want.
Yes. Well, and whenever I would go on a health kick, the first thing that would go away would be soda. Because you're right, you stop drinking soda and it's like magic to feel good. Now, occasionally I'll have Bernard's ginger ale because that's like the cure for everything. If you have a sore throat, you heat it up and drink it, it's perfect. But that's really the only soda that I will keep in my house because I know that I feel better when I'm not drinking it. Right?
Yes.
So then it goes back to the beginning of the conversation, which was only keep good things in your house except for that treat that you work towards at the end of the day or food that is special. And then for working out, then you have to find something that you like to do.
Yes, and I also have a standing desk. Like right now, I just finished a conference, so I'm outside of the building. But normally, I'm in my office and I have a standing desk and I have a little wobble board that I'm always standing on and moving back and forth with. And what a lot of us, especially entrepreneurs, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, I love them. They're all or nothing. They're like, I'm either going to work out for an hour at the gym and just kill it, or I'm going to do nothing. Not realizing that the in between, every movement matters. Me moving my arm right now matters. Like every single thing that we do, like it helps. Taking a walk helps. Doing a standing desk helps. Wobbling on my wobble board helps. And I always ask like my clients, I'm like, okay, do you have 30 seconds for me? They're like, oh, I didn't have time to work out. Do you have 30 seconds for me? What can we do in 30 seconds? Let's go. Let's do it right now on the call.
So if you work out for 30 seconds, it counts.
Everything counts and it counts the other way too. And so a lot of times we're like, oh, tomorrow's a new day. Yes, tomorrow is a new day. But everything that I have done for the last 38 years counts. It either counts for me or against me, which is why all the little things matter, which is why awareness is so important, just being aware of what we're doing. But yes, if we do 30 seconds of squats as fast as we possibly can, and some people might need to warm up first, okay? You're going to be breathing hard. You're going to feel it. Your legs are going to be burning, and it counts. It all counts.
Let's back up. So what can you do in 30 seconds? What is a 30-second workout?
So plank. If you've planked anytime recently for 30 seconds, it's like, whoa. And I'll do it throughout the day. I'll just get down. I'm like, do I have 30 seconds right now? I'm waiting for this call. And I'll get down and hold plank on my office chair. And when you have an office chair that wobbles, and then you bring like your right knee to your left elbow, left knee to your right elbow, like that counts. Doing your squats, doing your lunges, doing abs or ab holds for 30 seconds, doing running in place as fast as you can for 30 seconds. Just about almost all the exercises you could think of. It all counts.
And you mentioned warming up first. So what is it? You like warm up for 10 seconds and then you run in place for 20? Tell me about this methodology.
So as I age, I need to warm up more. Back when I was in my 20s, I could have just done the 30 seconds as fast as possible. But let's say that I was doing squats. I would do my first couple squats a little slower and then gradually go faster and faster.
All right, so starting slow counts as the warm up.
Yes, and also I am not saying that all you need is 30 seconds of exercise. I am just saying that it counts. It's better to do 30 seconds than to just write off the entire day and say, "Well, I didn't get to the gym today. I'm done." It's better. It's good for us mentally. It's good for us physically. But really, 120 minutes a week of exercise is definitely recommended.
Really, I'm like way below that.
That's
Now
okay.
I'm
You
gonna have to
celebrate where
start
you are.
tracking it. Well, 120 minutes of exercise a week.
Yeah.
That's 2 hours. Wait, we're gonna break it down. That's 2 hours. That's a 30 minutes, 4 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like nothing if you
Yeah.
think about
No.
it.
Yeah. And the more intensity you can get in your workouts and the more resistance training you can do, the more it helps. It helps you both be able to have leg strength when you're older. Like I don't know the statistics offhand, but how many people as they age die literally because they don't have leg strength is astounding. We're talking about falling in the shower. We're talking about falling down the stairs. We're talking about not being able to get up anymore. Just getting that strength training in is so incredibly important. But again, doing something is better than nothing. So we start with one thing that we know we can do beyond a shadow of a doubt. And then every day we say, okay, what else can I do? What can I get a little bit better in?
And so, what are your thoughts on the 10,000 steps a day? Is that
Amazing.
really right?
Oh, it is so. Those step counters have been revolutionary for people because I'm really big on tracking and awareness for myself just because with COVID, all of a sudden my gyms were shut down and I had a sedentary job for the first time and getting a watch. Like I go from 20,000 steps a day to like maybe 2,000 when I was working from my desk. And I gained 18 pounds during coronavirus because I wasn't working out and I was eating a lot. Like I know exactly why I gained the weight. And the steps, like the amount of steps I was getting was in direct correlation to my weight gain. So yes, the step counters are awesome. The 10,000 steps, so crucial. Some of my clients, that's their goal, is just to get the 10,000 steps or to get the 5 minutes of working out per day. And it's a great start.
So, start with what makes sense. Now, does this also count for people who haven't been doing it and need to strengthen their bodies?
So I always recommend starting with a personal trainer if you've never worked out and you're going to work out because of all the things that we spend money on. Personal trainer, they will teach you how to do the movements, they'll teach you how to have balanced routines. And then, so now, like one of my clients, he can follow programming that I make for him because he's already had the coach teach him how to do it. I cannot stress enough like the importance of starting with the coach. But if you're not there yet and you're like, I can't start with a coach, like right now I'm sitting on a bench, right? And I can just stand up from the bench, drive my knees out as I stand up. I can sit back down and then I can stand back up and look at me. I am exercising, right?
Okay. That's hilarious. But also true. Okay, this makes sense. And the other thing is I always tell people that I am as a goal coach, I am a personal trainer for goals. So I do the same thing but different. Okay, you want this life? Let's make your plan. You want this project? Let's make your plan. So I'm totally with you on that, the logic, because better to teach someone to fish.
My goal is for my clients to never need me again and to like, basically what I do is I help them figure out their their perfect beautiful little lives, like how they want to live in a way that will sustain like their goals forever once they reach them. And so I usually try to get my clients like set and on their own within 6 weeks to 3 months. And that's my goal. Because there how many people in this world? We have 7 billion people. that we need to help with this. So, like, and there's only one of me. So the quicker I can help someone reach their goals, then the faster I'm on to helping the next person.
Oh, that is a wonderful, wonderful attitude. So let's do a few more like quick tips. What can others do, the people, because you know there are plenty of million people who do not have access to you. What tips do you have for others for setting and achieving their health goals? What's a good starting
So,
point?
well, first of all, I do an online 5-day challenge that I have one that is for anybody, and then I have one that is just for entrepreneurs so that they can network at the same time with each other. So that's the first thing because it's free. We do everything together. We have accountability buddies for 5 days. I think it's amazing. But secondly, I encourage people to just think about, like we talked about, thinking about their personal why, their business why, and then what's the one next thing that, first of all, I want to do. Second of all, that I know is going to help me reach my goals. And third is something that I know with like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 certainty that I can make happen the next week. And then every week, like kind of reevaluate what is one thing that I could add to this.
So the first thing is figure out what you want from life.
Yeah.
Number one, you and I are in agreement because you have to start with your Goaltopia. What do you want your life to look like? And then what do you need to do to get there? So figure out what you want your healthy life to look like. Then think of what's one thing you can do to get there. And then do another thing and then another thing.
Yes. And I mean, the best thing is always to hire a coach because then you can get there way faster because it's taken me 17 years and I've had over 50,000 people come to my gyms. That's how long it took me to figure it out. Because the last time I gained weight was during the pandemic, which was just last year. This is the longest like run that I've had. Like I lost weight, I've kept it off, and this is the first time that I finally really enjoy my life. I'm not sacrificing, I'm not giving up anything, and I'm at my goal. And it took me 17 years to figure it out, and I made it my business to figure it out, and it still took me that long. So it's always good to hire a coach to help you through this. Like like let me help you in 6 weeks or 3 months as opposed to 17 years.
The life, the experience lets people reach their goals faster, but we still need to do a bonus health goal. So aside from, and I will put all of this in the recap, which you can catch tomorrow. If you go to the debmethod.com/blog, I'll have the recap and some notes and links, including to the one to your 5-day challenge. But what is an easy, a health goal anyone can do?
So, an easy health goal that anyone can do is to have more energy every day. So, seeking energy and saying, okay, today I woke up and I was just filled with energy. Okay, what did I do yesterday that helped me get that energy? Or today my energy is like low. What is going on? Did I get enough sleep? How's my water? What did I eat? Did I get my exercise? And just having the goal of having energy from the moment we wake up till the moment we go to bed at night, because that's possible. Like I feel it every day, and on the days I don't feel it, I know exactly what it is. But I think that's a beautiful goal because it helps us, not obsess about, the aesthetic and the other things. And when we seek more energy, then the other things happen too. The weight loss happens, like everything else happens for us, the confidence too.
So the bonus goal isn't just to have energy. The bonus goal is to be aware of the things that you do, which makes you have more energy one day or less the next, so you can evaluate what works and what doesn't. So actually the bonus goal is look at your life and evaluate what works for you for your health goals. Do more of what works for you, do less of what doesn't.
Yes, absolutely. It sounds so simple, but all of the best things are.
Well, this is why I do goal setting simplified, because changing your life is challenging enough. The instructions should be easy, which I think you and I both agree on. Before we wrap up, please tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, so I am Rhino Julie everywhere. You can reach out to me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can go to rhinojulie.com. It is me answering your DMs not be surprised if I make you a video. I would love to have you reach out to me, and I would love to have you do our next 5-day challenge.
And when does that start?
So the next one will probably be in about a month. So a month from now. So I do them a few times a year. So just always be looking for the next one. They're amazing.
So go to rhinojulie.com, sign up, or go to thedebmethod.com/blog, find the link, go there. If you need help on your other goals or incorporating your goals or setting the big picture health goals, you can learn more about my book at yourgoalguidebook.com or go to your favorite bookstore and ask for it. And again, if you need more motivation, follow at Rhino Julie, follow at the Deb Method. We are here for you. Thank you so much. Rhino Julie, do you have a final thought before I wrap up?
Yes, guys, whatever your goal is, sometimes we sabotage ourselves. Like we think, oh man, I haven't done it yet. Like here I am, I'm this age and I'm at this point in my life and I haven't done it yet. Maybe it's not even possible. It's never too late, guys. It's never too late. And what I want to encourage everyone to do, as George Bryant, follow him if you don't already, as he says, we measure the inputs over the results. So instead of saying, oh, I haven't lost this weight yet, or oh, I haven't achieved this goal yet, let's start measuring our inputs. What have we been doing to try to achieve it? And how do we compare from last month? How do we compare from last year? And start celebrating the steps along the journey instead of just killing ourselves for not being where we want to be yet.
Well, I am all about celebrating the wins. So I completely love this. Measure input. Stop comparing yourself. Someone else's journey is not your journey, but celebrate the steps and the wins along the way. That's perfect. Yes. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for that. And thank you, everybody who's watching. Now, you can find me every Sunday night on Twitter for the Goal Chat. Twitter chat is 7 p.m. Pacific. And I will be back next Monday and every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific with another Goal Chat Live with more amazing guests. And whether it's your health goals or your dream life, really think about what it is that you want, make a plan, and move forward. And remember, you can do it.